सर्वतंत्र स्वतंत्राय सदात्माद्वैतवेदिने श्रीमते शंकरार्याय वेदांत गुरवे नमः। योऽवतीर्ण इहाचार्य रूपेण यतीनां मुदे श्रीमन्नारायणं वन्दे तं हरिं करुणानिधिं मननाख्यं प्रकरणं वासुदेवयतीश्वरैः रचितं विस्तरेणाद्य संग्रहेण प्रकाश्यते। बालानामुपकाराय मम विज्ञानसिद्धये तत्र श्रीबालगोपाल कृष्णः सन्निहितो भवेन्। This text seems to have had more acceptance. It was not that or more popularity in the Vedantic schools of southern India. Somehow this text seems to have been more in circulation in south of India than in Kashi, etc., which were the seats of learning. In the beginning of every text, traditionally, we will find a prayer of invocation. A prayer of invocation is called as Mangalacharanam or Mangala. This particular prayer is done like every action has to have its purpose. So what is the purpose of Mangalacharan? So we say the purpose of this prayer of Mangalacharan is so that the studies or the work is finally accomplished. So when the author makes the prayer of Mangalacharan, he desires completion of his work successfully, because there are several obstacles which may arise from outside as well as from inside. And so, in order to surmount those obstacles, we require not only the other actions, but we require some daiva balam, some grace is required, which is procured through this prayer. And therefore, to remove the obstacles which possibly will prevent the completion of the work, those obstacles are blocked before they can have their effect. And so we have the prayer of Mangalacharana. Okay. Furthermore, over here, in this particular text, Laghu Vasudeva Mananam, we find 4 verses given to Mangalacharana. Okay. In the first verse, the author salutes Shankaracharya Bhagavan. In the second verse, he salutes his own teacher. Then in the third verse, he makes clear the subject matter of the text. And in the fourth one, he seeks blessings and also announces who is the recipient of this particular knowledge. Okay, this is the content of all the 4 verses. Let us look at every verse. Sarvatantra Swatantraya. Okay. Now, in order for a person to be able to give his verdict, judgment, he needs to be very well acquainted to the subject. What we are dealing over here is the very conclusive part of the Vedas. And therefore, one needs an extraordinary scholarship. We know about the scholarships of any ordinary person over here, and the defect of error cannot be denied. Okay. And therefore, whatever judgment or whatever is his conclusion always has a possibility of modification, rectification, rejection. Correct? Refutation. All this is possible. That what is shown by the Veda is, because Veda is the pramana, whatever is established is established. But in order to have access to the Veda also, one requires several forms of accurate knowledge. Whether it is about the grammar, logic, the rules and regulations of linguistic understanding, all these things are very much required. And the intellect of any ordinary worldly person does not have the capacity to hold all these things together. Does not have. But there so happened in the history, we find some people who with their with their power of scholarship, of erudition, have baffled the world and left the world in wonderment, and one of them is Bhagavan Shankaracharya, 8th century. The teachers of the tradition would say that though Shankaracharya appears as a historical figure, and in a time that you can access even with the modern history, but we are forced to say that such an feat, such an accomplishment is possible only if it is the incarnation of God. So, how is he? He offers his salutations to Shankaracharya by saying, Sarvatantra Swatantraya, the one who has free access to every branch of knowledge, every branch of knowledge, every discipline. Sarvatantra Swatantraya. And then how is he? Sada Atma Dvaita Vedine. But what is it that you are bowing down him for his intellectual ability? He says, not just that. He knows the Atma. He knows and shows that this Atma, the Self, is pure existence. What do you assume about yourself at this moment is, I am existing. You are an object in existence. I am existing. And when you make yourself, expose yourself to the teachings, you discover the meaning of I is not existing, but is pure existence. Existence cannot be cancelled. Pure existence. Advaita Vedine, and how this Atma is Advaita, non-dual, one without a second, complete. And so Vedine, to he who knows, and he who knows only can make you know. The one who does not know, how can he make you know? So he who has knowledge also can deliver it to the other. He who does not have, how can he? The rule of the game is, you can give only if you have it. Advaita Vedine. So he is the one who knows this self as non-dual existence. Srimate Shankararyaya, to this teacher of Vedanta, what is his name? Shankara. Shankara Arya, respectful, venerable. To him, our salutations to him. Salutations to him. Then in the second verse he says, Yovatirna iha acharya. Now that Hari, for every disciple, for every student, it is something like this. That for him, the teacher whose words make the student or make that person see the reality of the self, he would regard that teacher himself as the incarnation of God. Because God has incarnated for him as the teacher at that moment. Iha acharya rupena. Now, that God who has arrived as the acharya, as the teacher, he must have arrived, but what is the use of him coming? What did he do? Because there could be the incarnation may have a different purpose. Sometimes the incarnation may have the simple purpose of establishing righteousness. Dushta nibarhanam, etc. also can be there. Sadhu samrakshana also. He says, Yatinam mude. The one, this incarnation is such that delights the sannyasis, the renunciates. Oh. Over here, the sense objects, the decorations of the ego, the objects of pleasure, positions, it does not delight the renunciates. But such a teacher, his words, his presence delights the yati. Yati means sannyasi. Okay. This is a very interesting word for sannyasi, yati. Because a sannyasi is someone who has given away karma, renounced karma. Because he does not want the phalam, the result that comes through karma. What is the result? Putra vitta loka. Progeny. Vitta means wealth, and loka means the world hereafter, heaven, etc. They are not interested. So karma which can deliver us this is, he does not need that, and that's why karma is given up. But the word, and that's why he is a yati, sannyasi. But the word yati also means the one who is yatnashila. Who is? Yatnashila means the one who is putting forth 100% honest and sincere effort. Not something half-hearted. Not half-hearted. चलो अब जाके बैठते हैं. No. Full, sincere effort, given up karma, and yet is, and that's why it is yati. What is he then striving so sincerely for? Because not only that he is striving, but it is a sincere, honest, 100% strive for that knowledge. And therefore you will not find that the person is running pillar to post. He may be simply sitting with his eyes closed. but the tremendous effort that he is putting forth is cannot be denied. Okay? Yatinam mude, to such yatis, this teacher is a delight. To these yatis, this teacher is a delight. Yovatirna ihachari acharya rupena yatinam mude Shriman Narayanam Vande Tam Harim Karunanidhim. To that Bhagavan Narayana, perhaps seems to be the name of his teacher, like how Vasudeva, it must be Narayana, Yati. To this Shriman Narayanam Vande Tam Harim Karunanidhim, this great treasure. How is this teacher? He is a treasure trove of compassion. Treasure trove of compassion. Karunanidhim. Okay? To this teacher I bow down. For some people, if there are accomplished singers, they are delighted. You hear some accomplished singer and then you say, oh, wow. For some people, if there are some beautiful looking men and women, actors and whatever celebrities, then there is a delight. Oh, what is it that will delight the yati? Find it out. But the very arrival of this teacher on this earth has become the reason for the delight of these yatis. Okay? Mananakhyam Prakaranam. Now he speaks about the work. This particular work that we are going to study, and the one which he has composed or is going to compose, Mananakhyam Prakaranam. It is basically what? A Prakarana Grantha. It is a book belonging to the category of Prakaranas. Okay? So then we find two types of works over here. Two types in the sense we can have several more categories, but just one is called as the Shruti Moola. This is the original source of knowledge, the Veda directly, the Veda mantras. And these are various Upanishads. There are commentaries of Shankaracharya himself on the Upanishad, Brahma Sutra and Bhagavad Gita. On these commentaries, there are several sub-commentaries, glosses that are available. So there are commentaries on commentaries and commentaries on those commentaries and commentaries on even those commentaries. Defending the position of the previous author on which certain objections were raised. Okay. But this is not in a form of a commentary or a sub-commentary or a gloss. What is this? It is a prakarana. So the prakarana grantha means a book. Okay, a work. So this prakarana grantha is something which deals with the same subject matter, of the Upanishad. But it deals with certain aspects. It deals only with certain aspects and does not cover the entire teaching. Thus, introducing you, giving you an introduction, or sometimes these are just become the book of introduction, or there are certain advanced Vada Granthas like Advaita Siddhi, etc. Okay? Very advanced, but they also deal with certain part in an extreme advanced way. So, what is a Prakarana Grantha?
The text which deals with the certain aspect of the
Shastra. Yes, certain aspects. So now this is a Prakarana. What is the name of your work, sir? He says, this is called as Mananam. The work is Mananam, contemplation. Mananam, this particular term is very technical. Manana as a contemplative process is employed to remove the logical impossibility. Nivartaka. What does it remove? What does it remove? Asambhavana is removed. Okay. Asambhavana, the impossibility, the logical impossibility is resolved. So that process, that contemplative process, so contemplation is not, I am contemplating on the self. It simply means it is meant to remove the logical impossibility. So what happens now? The student now, or the person, the seeker, he is able to see the truth of that matter. Vasudeva Yatishvaraihi Rachitam. Who has composed it? One great sage, monk, or renunciate. What was his name? Vasudeva. And over here, I do not know, we have no historical evidence as if it is really just Vasudeva who has composed even this abridged version, or it was one of his disciples, or not even disciples, somebody else in the course of history. Whatever the manuscripts have become available are able to just give us this much information. Okay, but he says that there was an elaborate work composed as in the name with the title Vasudeva Mananam. Must have been quite terse also. So it was there. Vistarena Rachitam. Okay, elaborately. But what are you doing now over here? So if it is Vasudeva Yati himself doing it, it's okay. But rarely somebody will call himself as Yatishwar or something like that. We can call somebody as the king of renunciates. King of renunciates is not somebody who sits on a silver throne or a golden throne with a big, what do they call, umbrella, silver umbrella or a golden umbrella. So nobody is going to call himself, I am the king of all. You may say somebody else is, out of respect. He is saying Vasudeva Yatishvaraihi, and with that Yatishvaraihi, he employs the plural. Generally the plural is used to say, in the Indian languages, so I do not know in English anywhere if they use plural for a person, do they? No, I don't think. His Highness and Your Highness is said. At the most, they may use a third person. But not plural is used. अपने पिता गुरु को we never address them in singular terms, correct? Yatishvaraihi, he says. So definitely somebody, it could be one of the other people who is now bringing this work into the light, but in an abridged way. So he says, Mananakhyam prakaranam Vasudeva Yatishvaraihi rachitam Vistarena rachitam Adya now Sangrahena prakashyate. Now this same work, all the teachings are brought to you, brought out in the light. How? In brevity, briefness. But sir, why are you doing such an effort? Is there any need when the original work is there? Do you need to do anything else on that? Any improvement on it? So he says, yes. You have to prove why that work is required. Otherwise, it is simply just redundancy. Hey, it will be redundancy. He says, Balanam upakaraya mama vishyana siddhaye. There are two reasons why this is being done. So that Bala means tender, young. Anybody could be tender, young, if he is being newly introduced to the subject matter. You make somebody, some 10-year-old boy or a girl, go and sit in quantum physics lecture. Now this fellow does not know what is this man doing. He goes crazy. But let that boy study physics, etc., go to the school, go to the high school, go to the university, and then wait for another 10, 12 years and let him go and attend the same lecture, and he will say, oh, what was that? Why? Because he is no longer a Baal. He is no longer, his understanding or his intelligence is no longer that tender. How is it? It is mature. It can handle it now. But somebody who is therefore newly introduced, who does not know the subject matter very well, such a person is called as Baal. Okay? Young. It has got nothing to do with age. It has simply got to do with the person knowing the subject matter. So, Balanam Upakaraya, it is meant for those new, novice? For the novice, not novice, novice, new students, to help them, upakar, to help them. And the second purpose is mama vijnana siddhaya, so that my knowledge becomes capable of fructifying. I am doing it so that somebody else benefits. That is okay. But what is your benefit in it? Oh, I don't have any personal thing. Everything is meant for you all. That is okay. Don't give us that story. What is it that you have to get? And he makes it very clear that no hidden business. So that my knowledge is fructified. What is fructified? Clarity is gained. Mama Vijnana Siddhaya. Then he says, when this is the noble purpose, oh, so Mama Vijnana Tatra Shri Bala Gopala Krishna Sannihito Bhavet. He says, now because this is the noble purpose, whether you want others to be benefited through Vedanta or even you wanting to gain the clarity of Vedanta, both of these, in fact the second one is nobler. The first one can be a little social service oriented, but the second one definitely is a mumukshu. Okay? So, Tatra Shri Bala Gopala Krishna Sannihito Bhave. Then may Bhagavan Shri Krishna. And how does he visualize Shri Krishna as? A little toddler. Bala Gopala, a little toddler cowherd boy. This little toddler Shri Krishna, cowherd, Gopala is the cowherd, the one who tends the cows and calves. He's a Gopal basically. But how is this Gopal? Bal, which means he is still maybe 5 years at the most to be called as Bal. May this Bala Gopala come over here, be present to help me in this work. Tatra Sannihito Bhavet. Okay? These are the shlokas, verses of Mangalacharan. My wish is that we go through every line, every sentence of this text. It is a difficult task because I told these people to, look at the volume of the book. Not all of it is that thing, but up to here. That is 138 pages. Okay? कितना हुआ? 138. How much is half of 138? 70. We don't even have 70 days. And the topic is kind of profound. We will go through it, but one should not give up thinking that because it is a big task, how can I do it? One should get doing it sometimes. Okay? Get doing it. Tatra Shri Bala Gopala Krishna Sannihito Bhavet. Now let us see the Mangala is done by the author over here. If Bhagavan Shri Krishna has heard the prayer, then we will be able to complete. Or our prayer in that case was weak, could not reach the ears of Balagopala. Okay? Chala. Iha khalu dharmartha kama mokshanam chaturnam purusharthanam madhye moksha eva parama purusharthaha. Amongst the four pursuits, okay? What are the four pursuits? All of them are legitimate. Dharma, artha, kama and moksha. Amongst these four pursuits and these are universal. This is nothing got to do with only Indians have four pursuits. Everybody. And they are pursuing dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Amongst these four pursuits of life, moksha eva parama purusharthaha. The pursuit of moksha is considered to be the ultimate effort, ultimately sought. And not only ultimately, I add to it, really sought. That what is truly, really sought is moksha. Okay? So, in order for a pursuit to be called as purushartha, it should have two qualities. It should have two qualities. Somebody is there and he wants to know how many teeth are there in the beak of a crow. There could be some, indentations. So this fellow is interested in getting the number. Now we ask him, now by getting that number, what will you get? Just like that. This is not Purushartha. Not Purushartha. If he is paid for doing it, it is a different thing because he is going to get something. So, in order for any pursuit, any activity to be called as a Purushartha, as a legitimate pursuit, it should have two qualities. One is of dukkha nivritti and sukha prapti. That activity should lead to removal of suffering and bringing happiness. Generating, bringing, attaining happiness. Only when these are what is moksha? Where the dukkha nivritti is seen as absolute nivritti. And what is the nature of attainment of happiness? Boundless, limitless. And therefore, you ask a person when he is doing anything, he wants to get married, she wants to get married to this man. After getting married to him, what do you think will happen? She will say, I will get absolute happiness. So, what is she really wanting or he wanting? Absolute happiness. Truly speaking, this is what is wanted. When you want infinite happiness, but you are seeking it in finite objects, whether it is a man, woman, place, position, recognition, how can these things become capable of giving what is truly wanted by a person? And therefore, moksha purushartha is not only the ultimate pursuit of life, but it is the real pursuit of life. So now the teacher says, the author says, amongst these four, moksha is parama purushartha, the highest attainment of life. Then he says, why do you say it's the highest? So he has to present, just because you have started calling it highest, let us all call it highest. Like these protesters who are protesting against CAA and NRC. Why are you doing that? Oh no, because everybody is protesting. I thought we all have to do that. Do you know what is the implication of that? That's not important. We just have to go over there and create some danga fasad. Otherwise, when will we get chance to throw stones at running trains and buses? So nice. They're doing it. Why is it called highest? Not because everybody is calling it highest. He says, Nityatvat, because how is it? Nitya. It is not time bound. It is not time bound. Conditioned by time. Nityatvat. So, the Shruti as the Pramana shows what is moksha. Okay? Shows what is moksha, or how that moksha purushartha is accomplished. That is the reason why Shruti or the Veda has its importance. If it was not going to bring you any form of purushartha, why would we give it importance? And if it was to tell me how to earn money, how to raise children, I don't require Veda. I will go to a business school to learn how to make money. And if you want to tell me how to raise children, I think I will learn it from sparrows. They do the job better. Isn't it? The sparrow shows the baby how to fly and how to catch your worms. And once when the mother sparrow has taught the baby, the mother does not have to worry, did my baby eat well today or not? Because the confidence is there that whatever skills that the mother sparrow has passed on of survival are adequate. But does that happen with human beings? Now the father or mother may help the child settle. I will give you money, but get settled. I'll get you married, get settled. And after settling also, I don't know how his wife is treating him. If she has to worry, which means the training that you have given is inadequate. A sparrow does that better than you. So if I have to really learn how to raise children and how to make them survival worthy, I would not learn it from Vedas, I would learn it from sparrows. What say? Yes or not? So what is the validity and importance of Veda? That it is not telling you what is Artha Purushartha, what is Kama Purushartha. It shows you how the Moksha Purushartha, Dharma Purushartha will be attained. Because what is Dharma and how that Dharma can be accomplished, what is moksha and how the moksha can be accomplished is not known to you without this means of knowledge. Okay? So the same Veda which shows you what is this moksha speaks about the moksha. How does it say? Na cha punaravartate, na cha punaravartate. The nityatvam means its timelessness. It's not conditioned by time. Is now also shown to you by the Veda. Where does the Veda show this? In this sentence of the Chandogya Upanishad. What is that sentence? Say that. Okay. Na cha punaravartate, na cha punaravartate. He does not come back, gets trapped into this cycle. Does not get trapped into this cycle. Twice. Which means confirmation. I have said it once, it is endorsed. Na cha punaravartate. Iti shrutehe. But what about the other three? Itaresham trayanam na tathatvam, but including dharma purushartha. Of these three purusharthas, which are these three? Dharma, artha and kama. This is not true in case of the other three purusharthas. What happens with them? Trayanam na tathatvam. Tathatvam, nityatvam. What is tathatvam here? Nityatvam. Trayanam na tathatvam. Why? Anityatvat. The same Vedana will tell you. Tad yatheha karmachito lokakshiyate evameva mutra punyachito lokakshiyate iti shrutehe. Now, that the money, popularity, wealth, progeny, all that a person can earn, securities and pleasures over here, do you require anybody to tell you that they are all perishable? Is it not obvious that once you have become popular, which means that will you remain eternally popular? This girl becomes Miss Universe, Trailokya Sundari. This girl now is made Miss World. They are taught how to even cry. She does. Next year, she is only made to give the crown to another, saying that now this year I am not beautiful, this girl. So if you become Miss Beautiful Universe, you are not going to remain Miss Beautiful forever. Some Tilottama. Rambha Urvashi. No. Gone. Kshiyate, that popularity goes, the money is perishable. Progeny, partner, everything, because even in the partners, ultimately we will have to part our ways. Somebody has to kick the bucket first. Isn't it? Somebody has to kick the bucket first. So these things are perishable, and this is not what is required to be told by the Veda. You observe it. But Veda is going to tell you about the dharma phalam, which is swarga, heaven, etc. Says that even such thing, just as these results, which security and pleasure, etc., artha and kama, which are delivered to you by the karma, are perishable, so also the swarga, which is also the result of karma, is perishable. We are not going to oppose you that there is no swarga, no heaven. If you want to go, we will tell you what to do. Live a righteous life and follow the various rituals and go. But that is also how? Perishable. Why is it perishable? Because it is also the result of karma. But how do you know that something that is the result of karma is perishable? Because that is pratyaksha. It is directly perceived over here. Correct? It is directly perceived over here. Pratyaksha. Evam eva amutra punyachito lokaha kshiyate. Just as the results of karma are perishable over here, that result of karma, heaven, also is perishable. Which means once the punya finishes, then you are sent down. Go, become a mortal. Again, earn more punya if you want to come back. Which holiday destination you go and then you are made to stay eternally over there? Huh? How long can you stay in an holiday destination? Till you don't run out of money. So also, how long are you allowed to have fun over there? Nice food, nice girls, nice music, whatever that you want to say. How long? Till you have that currency, punya. Okay? So now, this moksha, which is nitya purushartha, the ultimate purushartha, how, sir, this moksha is then attained? Because moksha then, therefore, because it is nitya, cannot be the result of karma. So here it is said, Sacha moksho brahmajnanad eva siddhyati. This moksha is accomplished, attained through knowledge and knowledge of Brahman. Okay? Is attained through knowledge. Which knowledge? Physics, chemistry, biology, business schools. How? PhDs. What? How? Brahmajnana, knowledge of Brahman. Eva siddhyati. So he shows that it is through the Veda Vakya only this statement is made. It is not something that comes out of his hat. We are not interested in talking what you and me and anybody speculates. That what is established through Pramana. It is no one's speculation we are interested in. No matter how fantastic it is, we are not interested. Okay. Tameva viditva atimrutyameti nanyah pantha vidyate yanaya. The Vakyam here is a sentence from the Shvetashvatar Upanishad. The earlier sentence which was told to you was from Na punaravartate, na punaravartate is from Chandogya. Okay. Then now he gives you a quotation from Shvetashvatara Upanishad. What does this Shvetashvatara Shruti say? Tameva viditva. Pay attention. Viditva means having known. Known what? That. Tam eva. And evakara means only. Indeed. every other possibility is wiped out when you are going to use that only word. Correct? I want to see you for dinner tomorrow. Only you. Which means please don't bring your wife, your father, mother, children, anyone. Only you. What is that meaning of word only? Everybody else is now erased. Tam eva viditva, in knowing that alone, only in knowing, means through knowledge alone, atimrityumeti, one goes beyond the death. Atimrityumeti, death means time bound, change, modification. Conditioned by time. That what is unconditioned by time, unconditioned by fear, because the word death has got both the things, not only bound by time, but also it is embedded with fear. Bhayam. There is bhayam. Atimrityumeti, one goes beyond death. Now, as if the Veda is not yet satisfied and therefore adds few more words to complete that sentence and says, Nanyaf pantha vidyate yanaya. There is no other path to this destination. There is no other path, which means knowing that alone, means in knowing Brahman alone, what is there? Moksha is accomplished. What is the sentence, Vimal? Shweta Shruti, what is it? Tell. अति मृत्युमेति. मृत्युमेति नहीं, बाप रे. वेरी गुड. तुम बोलो. Eric, tell me, if not in the original words, at least the sentence in English. And from where has it come?
Shvetashvara Upanishad. By knowing the Brahman, one is free from the death.
And what is it? One more thing. There is no other path, no other way to this destination. Okay? Shruti bolo.
Tameva viditva atimrityumeti pantha
Nanyaf pantha vidyate yanaya ayanaya. Na anya. Nanyaf pantha vidyate yanaya. क्या ढूंढ रही हैं ये लड़की?
सुन रही हूँ उसको, देख रही हूँ.
अच्छा, इस पेज का फोटो. अच्छा. पहले तो in the beginning, when people used to do this with their phones, when I'm teaching and all, I used to feel, what is this? These people are now browsing or what? They're looking at Facebook when I'm teaching. Then I found out, no, actually they are writing something or, jotting down the points. But anyway, how is this Brahman to be known? How is this Brahman known? Of course, through Shruti. But how? Tacha Brahma adhyaropa apavadabhyam jnatavyam. You remember? Adhyaropa apavada, superimposition and
Desuperimposition.
So through the process of adhyaropa and apavada, Brahman is known. How is Brahman known? Sorry. How is Brahman known, Sangeeta? फिर पूरा सेंटेंस बोलो. हाँ, तच्च ब्रह्मा बोलो. तच्च ब्रह्मा अध्यारोप अपवादाभ्याम ज्ञातव्यम. Okay? All right. Let us see what it is when we meet tomorrow in the morning. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. ये दे दो सबका, किसका क्या है, ये भी दे दो.